What's going on? How you doing? My name's David the Crook, and today I got a video for you on how to mix that old school Bay Area, Oakland, just that, I don't know, like that too short feel to a beat. But other than that, I want to remind you to subscribe and drop a like. I have a song here. It's called Keep It On The Real by the official Izzy. The song's out. I'll put the link to the song down below in the description. But other than that, I'm just going to play his verse and then we'll just get into it. And like I said, this is like that Bay Area old school like 90s feel. We added a little twist to it, like by the reverb and just little stuff here and there. We added like a modern kind of thing feel to it, just like doing our own thing to it. But other than that, man, the song slaps.
You wanna rush, you gotta pay me.
So that's like the verse right there. And I'm just going to take off all the plugins because we will be starting from scratch, and we're just going to build our vocal chain from nothing. We're going to be using a mixture of Wave plugins, Stock Logic Pro X plugins, like Sound Toys. We're just going to be using a different variety of plugins. We don't really stick to one type of plugin. I ended up taking off all the plugins just because we will be starting from scratch. And if you see my other videos, you know I always use the same 4 plugins to start off every vocal chain. But I'm going to do it a little bit different today. So pretty much the first thing I always add is Outlaw or Vocal Writer by Waves, any automation plugin that's going to keep the vocals consistent. You don't really need it for this type of music just because with this old school feel there is like a lot of heavy compression. But if you have something like this, go for it, use it. It's going to keep the vocals consistent throughout the whole track, which is cool. So I'm gonna play it. I'm only grabbing 50% of the signal just because I like that mixture of the raw dynamics and then the automated version, and it's just like a well blended version of both of them together with this plugin.
Go with me so you know you in trouble. Money on the table, me and Brody on the hot bag chasing since he younger.
So as you can tell, it makes it louder. So pretty much what this purple thing is doing is bringing up the signal on certain words, and then when he gets a little too loud in other words, it brings it down a little bit. But like I said, it's 50% of the signal, so it's louder, but it doesn't really mess with that much with the dynamics. So next thing I'm gonna do from here is I'm gonna add a de-esser just because I want to get rid of some of the de-essing, right? Like get rid of some of those harsh S's right now, so that way when I push up certain frequencies or when I start compressing, the S's don't start throwing off the compressor a little bit. I'm not going to do a heavy de-essing because I will be adding another de-esser. So this one's just mostly just to tame certain frequencies. So I'm not doing that much. It's just like 3. I think the farthest it goes is like 6. So from here, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna add the first compressor. And the first compressor I always use is RVox by Waves, just because this plugin is amazing. The way it just brings the vocals forward and it's just right in your face. Just is one of those plugins that, damn, like it makes a huge difference adding this plugin to your vocals. And other than that, if you don't have this plugin, you can use a normal compressor. The Stock Logic Pro X compressors are amazing. But for this, I'm gonna go for like a 2. Maybe like a 3.
And I'm a bust like a bubble. Baby, go with me so you know you in trouble. Homie, money on the table, me and Brody on the hustle bag chasing since he younger from the bottom and the hustle mindset of a P on G. I can never ever fall. No origami on me, shorty.
I'm not gonna add a gate. I just wanted to see what it would do. But I did 3.5, and that's just to bring up the vocals a little bit louder, and it sits right in your face exactly where we want it. Now from here, what we're going to be doing is we're going to be doing a little bit of EQing and a little bit of compression, and we're going to be using the SSL E channel by Waves. This plugin is amazing. This is like one of those old school hardware that everybody uses on their songs, and all I'm going to be doing is some EQing and then some compression. I'm not going to use the gate. I am going to turn this analog on to add some color to the vocals.
Go with me so you know you in trouble. Homie, money on the table, me and Brody on the hustle bag chasing since he younger from the bottom and the hustle mindset of a P on G-O-D. I can pass me the Glock and I'm a bust like a bubble. Baby, go with me so you know you in trouble. Homie, money on the table, me and Brody on the hustle bag chasing since he younger from the bottom and the hustle mindset of a P on G-O-D. I can never ever fall. No origami on me, shorty. What you thinking, what you thought it was? All up in my DM, cause you see I got a little buzz. You know I'm the real thing, baby. If you thought you wanna rush, you gotta pay me. Cause gas ain't cheap, so don't try your luck. Cause I don't care, it's pay up and catch the bus. Keep everything a buck, I don't do this for free. Hit your music for the verse.
What I did is I added a compressor. The ratio's 2. I'm not compressing every word. It's just mostly for those high peaks. I kind of want to keep some of the raw dynamics in the vocals, so I'm not going with that heavy compression. So that's cool. It's like pretty fast release. And then I ended up cutting out 135. I ended up doing a boost at 16K. I did 8.5, and that's a lot compared to what I usually do. I usually do like 5, 3, just depends. But for this song, I did a heavy 16K boost, and then I also boosted around 5K. I did a 1.5, and this is more to bring out some of that crispiness from the vocals, so that way there's like right in your face those certain frequencies. And then I did a cut at 400, and that's just to take out some of that boxiness from the vocals, just because you kind of don't want it. You kind of want like a nice clean vocal. You don't want that boxiness getting in the way. Pull Tech, and what the Pull Tech's gonna do, this plugin is by Waves also. This is the Pull Tech here. If you don't have this and you're using Logic Pro X, you could go to Vintage, Tube, EQ, and the same thing as this. It just sounds a little bit different just because they emulate different Pull Techs. And if you don't want that, if you're not using Logic Pro X and you have Acoustica, it's a other third-party plugin brand or company, I guess you could say, and they give you this one for free. You just download it and then install it. It's a titanium booster, and the only difference is this is for low end, and then this is for both low end and then high end. So it doesn't really matter if you just want to boost that low end. What we're going to be doing is just boosting here, and then just boost up with the regular EQ if you don't have this one. But you can find this plugin for like 29 bucks, and then you just buy it. I have a 10% discount code if you want to buy it. It's down below in the description. So if it's 29 bucks, you get it for like 26 bucks, which is stupid cheap. 26 bucks, and you have a plugin forever that sounds exactly like the actual hardware. So I'm just gonna boost up 100 hertz, and I'm gonna boost up 12K just to give it more presence, more fullness to the vocals.
Pass me the Glock and I'ma bust like a bubble. Gave the goat with me, so you know you in trouble. Lil' homie, money on the table, me and Brody on the hustle. Bag chasing since a younger, from the bottom and the hustle. Mindset of a P on G-O-D. I can never ever fold. No origami on me, shorty. What you thinking, what you thought it was?
Damn, that sounds clean. I ended up boosting it at 3.5, 100 hertz. You got to be careful when you boost 100 hertz, just because if you boost up a little bit too much, it does sound muddy, so you don't want that. So if you were to boost too much, it'll sound like this.
Pass me the Glock and I'ma bust like a bubble. Gave the goat with me, so you know you in trouble. Lil' homie, money on the table.
Just certain frequencies and certain words he says, it just sounds a little bit too muddy. You just want to be careful when you boost. Now from here, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna add the F6. This is a plugin by Waves, and as you could tell, I always use Wave plugins just because it's what I feel more comfortable with. I know like my boy, he likes like the Slate Digital stuff, and dude, that stuff works clean too. I've seen him mix songs with Slate plugins, and that goes hard. I use Waves. I think everybody has their own preference. It's just finding out what plugins work best for you. For me, it happens to be Wave plugins, and I happen to like Logic Pro X. For some people, they like FL Studio. Some people like Reason. I think it all depends on what you prefer, and just find out what works best for you. So I'm gonna use the F6 to do more EQing and more boosting.
Pass me the Glock and I'ma bust like a bubble. Gave the goat with me, so you know you in trouble. Lil' homie, money on the table, me and Brody on the hustle. Bag chasing since a younger, from the bottom and the hustle. Mindset of a P on G-O-D. I can never ever fold. No origami on me, shorty. What you thinking, what you thought it was? All up in my DM, cause you see I got a little buzz. You know I'm the real thing, baby. If you thought he wanna rush, you gotta pay me. Cause gas ain't cheap, so don't try your luck. Cause I don't care, it's pay up and catch the bus. Keep everything a buck, I don't do this for free. Hit your music for the verse, then you gotta pay the fee. So you better not trip, if so watch your lip. Cause my brody keep it on him, so we keep it on the hip. Pass me the Glock and I'ma bust like a bubble. Gave the goat with.
So with this F6, what I did cut out some of that low end. I cut out 120 just because with this old school like Bay Area feel we're going for, we do want a good amount of the low end in. We don't want that smooth vocals, but you kind of want them smooth, if that makes sense. It kind of doesn't, but in my head, I don't know how to explain it honestly. You just want some of that low end in there so you can feel the fullness of the vocals, especially because it's like one of those old school songs. They did like a lot of old school methods of mixing, which transition to what we do now. But for the most part, we kind of want that mixture of both that old school feel with a little bit of that new school. So I'm gonna cut out around 120. If I was doing like trap vocals, I would cut out like 160, 140, but 120 is cool. I did a boost at 5K. I just did a small boost of 1 dB just because we did do a lot of boosting in the high end with these other plugins, so I don't want to ruin it with this one. So from here, what I'm gonna do is I can add Smasher. This is like a parallel compression plugin. This one's cool. I think I'm gonna try it out, see if it works. If not, then we'll just take it out. Now it's gonna be a lot louder, but I'm gonna fix it with the mix knob.
Ask me the Glock and I'ma bust like a bubble. Gave the goat with me so you know you in trouble. Lil' homie, money on the table, me and Brody on the hustle. Bag chasing since a younger from the bottom and the hustle. Mindset of a P on G-O-D. I can never ever fold. No origami on me, shorty.
That sounds cool, honestly. I could take it out, but I could leave it. It doesn't really matter. I put the output or the inputs at 30. The output, I took it out, some around 80. Put the mix at 20, and it just gives it like a saturation feel to it. Parallel compress certain parts of it, but only 20% of the signals getting parallel compressed. I could add it or I could leave it. Honestly, it doesn't matter. This plugin is pretty cool with like old school New York vocals, so it gives like a dope feel to this one, even though we're going for that Bay Area. To give it that more studio sound, we're going to be using a stock Logic Pro X compressor, and I'm going to use the Studio FET. This one sounds clean. This one sounds clean. This one sounds clean. This one sounds clean. It's only 4 I use. I don't touch any of these other ones just because they're more for like drums and guitars. So, but we're working with vocals. So I'm gonna put the distortion on soft because it makes the vocals a lot nicer and a lot fuller. So putting distortion on soft helps. I'm gonna put the ratio at 2. We're not gonna go for a heavy compression. We're probably gonna go for 3 dB compression.
Ask me the Glock and I'ma bust like a bubble. Gave the goat with me so you know you in trouble. Lil' homie, money on the table, me and Brody on the hustle. Bag chasing since a younger from the bottom and the hustle.
So as you could tell, a lot of those S's are starting to pop out more. So we're going to be doing a de-essing, but after this compressor, because we're going to use the CLA 2 compressor, because you cannot mix vocals without this compressor. I mean, you could, but this one sounds clean. Like what this compressor does to the vocals, it just makes it sound so nice. I like this compressor a lot. Emulates one of those famous old school compressors that cost thousands of dollars, but you could get it for like stupid cheap. What we're gonna be doing is we're gonna be going for like a 2 dB gain reduction, nothing too much. I put this at 67.
Ask me the Glock and I'ma bust like a bubble. Gave the goat with me so you know you in trouble. Lil' homie, money on the table, me and Brody on the hustle.
And then from here, what we're going to be doing is we're going to be using a de-esser. And I always use sibilants by Waves just because this is my favorite de-esser, because not only does it get S's, but also gets others like syllables, other frequencies that are harsh to your ears. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go for a heavy, probably like -30, and then put outlook.
Ask me the Glock and I'ma bust like a bubble. Gave the goat with me so you know you in trouble. Lil' homie, money on the table, me and Brody on the hustle. Bag chasing since.
So these are the frequencies that are being tamed. So for example, a G, an I, S, G. Those certain frequencies are harsh to a person's ears, so a de-esser doesn't really tame those, but sibilants does. That's why I kind of like using sibilants more than other de-essers. And that's pretty much it. I could spread out the vocals a little bit more, but I kind of want to keep the vocals right in the center, right in your face, because that's the feel we're going for with this like old school Oakland vibe, Bay Area. Then from here, these plugins that I'm going to be adding, I'm going to be busting them onto the vocals just because I don't want to throw on a whole preamp onto the vocals. I'd rather just bust it. So first one I'm going to be using is Little Radiator. It's a old school preamp, so it's going to give it that old school feel. It's going to make the vocals feel fuller too. I'm going to leave this off. I put the heat all the way on, mix all the way on, just because we are busting it, so we have a little bit more control on how much of the preamp we want onto the vocals.
Money on the table, me and Brody on the hustle. Bag chasing since a younger from the bottom and the hustle. Mindset of a P on G-O.
That sounds clean. Now next thing I'm going to do is add some delay, and even though you don't need to add delay for this type of music, I'm gonna add just a little bit, and I'm also gonna be side chaining it. So it's it's not gonna be that noticeable, but it's gonna add like a little bit of background movement to the song, so that way it doesn't sound like bleh. Like I'm not trying to say dead, but it doesn't sound plain. There's like a little bit of stuff going on. This is like our little twist that we're adding to the song. That way it's not too like bleh. If that makes sense. I'm just gonna add it. It's not gonna be noticeable. I'm gonna overdo it so you could hear the delay, but then I'm just gonna tame it back, and then with the side chain compression is gonna help also.
Ask me the Glock and I'ma bust like a bubble. Gave the goat with me so you know you in trouble. Lil' homie, money on the table, me and Brody on the hustle. Bag chasing since a younger from the bottom and the hustle. Mindset.
So for example, when he said something, 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 little homie, you kind of heard the delay right there, and that's what we were going for. So those little pauses, because other than that, when he's rapping, I don't want to hear the delay at all. It's just for those little pauses. And then from here, we're going to be doing is we're going to be adding some reverb. I ended up using the Hansa Studio Plus, and then this one sounds cool. It gives like a studio feel to it. I'll overdo it so you can hear it.
Pass me the Glock and I'ma bust like a bubble. Gave the goat with me.
So it gives it like a chamber kind of feel. I cut out some of that low, and then I did do a MV2, and then what this does, it takes out that reverb, brings out more of that room onto the vocals. Pretty cool. Try it out with like distortion or flange or pretty much anything that gives it like a different feel on the reverb. It sounds cool.
Pass me the Glock and I'ma bust like a bubble. Gave the goat with me so you know you in trouble, lil' homie.
And pretty much what this do is just to add space to the vocals, kind of blends in with the beat. We don't want the dry vocals, we kind of want some space, some reverb onto the vocals. Not too much, just because we are going for more of that dry enclosed feel. And then the next and final reverb we're going to be adding is the Reverb Plate 140. I put the model at punchy, the decay time at 4, the blend is halfway or like at 80%, and I put the drive at 32. And this is going to give it more of that old school enclosed feel. I really like this reverb. This reverb sounds good on everything.
Pass me the Glock and I'ma bust like a bubble. Gave the goat with me so you know you in trouble, lil' homie. Money on the table, me and Brody on the hustle bag, chasing since he younger from the bottom and the hustle mindset of a P on G-O-D.
That sounds cool right there. I like this reverb and how it sounds. It gives it that feel, like that old school feel. But I also made it like small and tight, but it gives it that like new school reverb. This is all the settings to it, and it sounds good on old school Bay Area type music, and I like it. So other than that, this is the song. This is how you mix that old school Bay Area type vocals. Now I want to remind you to subscribe and drop a like. Like I said, the song will be down below in the description so you can check out the full song. Now, if you want your song mixed and mastered by me, feel free to hit me up on my Instagram or on my email. Everything will be down below in the description, as well as the Waves discount code and any other links I have down there to help you. So I want to say thank you for watching the video, and I hope to see you in the next video. My name is David the Crook. Peace.